What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I decided that I was going to be custom making an animal from Skull Island. Now before I start the video, y'all probably seen it on the thumbnail and in the title, but I want to play a little game with y'all, and that is, what do you get when you take, if I can get it over here, rocks, palm trees, and, hang on, a tortoise. Let me know your answer in the comments below. I'll give y'all a moment. Did you get it? Alright. The Galapagos. Because that has rocks and boulders, it has palm trees, and it has a Galapagos tortoise. No, I'm just kidding. We get what we're going to be making today. Some rocks, palm trees, and a tortoise gives us a magma turtle. We're not going to be using the rocks. I went outside, got these out of my driveway just to do a little thing with them. So we got the palm trees. Now these palm trees are not what I really was going to use. I was originally going to use these little ones right here and have like it kind of set on his back like this, but something caught my attention. As you can see, these palm trees are flat, and the siding right here is not even got it where you can feel the texture. It's like flat plastic, and the leaves right here are too, if the camera would focus on it, too flat too to use. So I went out to my locally Michael's store, and they actually sold some actual mini palm trees as a set, but sadly enough one of my palm trees broke when I was removing the leaves, because I wanted to make the palm trees have different textures. Like one would have like a few leaves like this one has right here. One would have multiple leaves folding down. And I did the same thing to these ones right here, the tall ones. And you're probably wondering, how in the world am I going to take these, take a real tall one and place it right here and see how far up it goes? We ain't doing that. We're going to be cutting the palm tree in half. So it will sit probably about right here. But palm trees are not always straight up like this. Some has bends in them like that right here. So we're going to be doing a couple different things to get bent. So let's go and get started, shall we? Put that back in its stand so it will stand up. And oh yeah, I do have another tree. I'm letting the glue right here harden because it is being stubborn and not sticking. So I'm going to have to figure out another way to get the last one to stay. But yeah, before I start, when you do this, you will have a cup, if you decide to follow the steps and move the leaves around to make it like different looks on them, you will end up with a couple left over of these little pieces of the tree. And like I said, the one did break, and that here's the stem right here that broke. I guess on this one they decided to use super glue and not hot glue, because the rest of them had hot glue on it. But we're going to be saving these because we can use these little leaves. I think these are leaves or something that's on the palm tree. The camera would focus on it. For like grass or maybe little textures here and there on the shell. So we're going to move that out the way. Move the rocks. Now one tool you are really going to need is, if you have a big enough Dremel, you can use that. I do not, so I am going to be using actual drill to be doing this. Now the bit that I am going to be using is a 11/64" drill bit. And what I'm going to do is look for like right here on the where the pieces of his shell connects. Right here is definitely one where I'm going to put one, because in different spots on his shell, it already has like spots where one, like right here, this spot is lower than these spots right here, but right here it's higher than like right here. So different spots in the shell, I'm going to be drilling and placing them. Now you can go like at an angle or go straight down, however way, if you want to follow them along, you can do. I'm just going to go straight like at an angle. Now before I start, hang on a second. For safety reasons, have somebody with you, or have a parent or guardian or somebody you trust to do this for you if you do not feel comfortable. I wanted to get that out for safety reasons. And there's one right here. Now you notice I did go at an angle like I wanted. I didn't go straight down into it. Now I'm going to go on and do the rest of these off camera, so it'll be a lot easier to get to. And I will bring y'all back in a moment. Alright, I've gotten the hole straight, and I went on and added some trees in there to make sure that everything looked okay. But I did not fill all the holes in. I got one more left, so I can show y'all what to do. So this is one of the taller trees. This one right here was the other one. But what I did was cut it about, hang on. Give the camera a second to focus. I took the snippers and just snipped about right here, a little bit more than halfway off. About that much. And see if it fits. And sometimes you can just take it and just turn it to force it into the hole, so it will be even a tighter fit. Okay, I need to shave off some more of that. The only thing is, you see how the shell is right here? Where that is in a corner piece, that is why it's making it difficult. And also I went in at an angle, and then I went downwards. So I got to put the thing in and rotate it. But before we even put this in, we're going to take some super glue and fill the hole part way around. Make sure it sinks in. There we go. Now I know if I had some more trees, it would have been a little bit better, because I could have had 3 on one side, 3 on the other, but I think this makes it a little bit better. Now, I was not really paying attention, I ended up with that, but the glue is kind of going everywhere, so let me go on and clean this up, and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, I got the trees all set up on his back and everything, but before I continue, I have a quick note for everybody, or tip. If you do decide to do this, or decide to do different things with your tree parts, if you have any, do not get rid of them. As you can see right here, all I did was taking them, laid them around, and it almost made like a scenery. Sorry about that, scenery right here with a bushes. The tortoise is coming through. The trees have been knocked down by a battle between Kong and something else, or Kong just walking through. And sooner or later, the what is it? Seeds. My bad. I was thinking something else, but the seeds from the palm trees and the bushes that grows on the tortoise's back would fall down and probably regrow the new trees and everything. But that's just something you could do with your trees if you do decide to do this project with me. And you could get like some of them to lay down like how I did this one right here. I just had leaning down like this to make it look like it broke down. But then before you anybody say anything, no, I did not connect these bushes on the tortoise's back. They were just laid there for just because I'm not connecting those because something jawed into my head, thinking of the bushes right here would probably more likely fall off of this creature than the trees, as the trees are more rooted into the magma turtle's body than the bushes would probably. Or the bushes would just catch on fire and burn off before the trees would. Because I think the magma turtle is supposed to be like a walking volcano. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. But now we're going to move on to painting. I just wanted to say that quick thing about the trees. There's no sense in just cutting them and throwing these pieces away because you can always use these for like broken pieces. For like if you decide to do like different pictures or something, or just get them to have around the turtle, and just be like it's going all these will regrow again from the seeds off of this mighty creature, and the bushes are just there for it to eat or to walk around. I don't know. Now we're going to move on back to where we were. I'm getting off subject, but let's go on and get into the painting now. I kind of made a boo-boo here. Well, not really, because I could just painted this first after drilling the holes, then painted the trees, and then lined them all up afterwards. So this just made it a little bit harder on me. But if it ain't hard, then it ain't no fun, right? So let's get doing this. So like normally, I'm going to use dark gray for my prime. Alright, I got them all primed and ready for paint. The only thing is I did not do was paint the under part of the leaves, because really you're not going to see these, and also it's going to be shade kind of at the bottom anyways and be dark looking, and that's kind of what it's going to look like afterwards anyways. But right here, I noticed when I was putting the paint on this, it made the leaves a lot stronger. Instead of being like how they were, all kind of paper almost, now it's like an actual kind of a little bit harder, so I'm not worried about these breaking. But I did do something wrong, and hopefully if you are following along, y'all do not make the same mistake I did. Don't put the trees in before painting, because that is where I'm going to have a hard time with, but that's alright. I love a challenge. Now, I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to show you all the main colors that I'm going to do. Then I'm just going to paint it. But first up, we're going to do some dark green for the leaves. Some brown for the trunk. I have to think there for a second what these were called. It's the trunk of the tree. And then for the turtle, we're going to do pavement. the whole turtle in pavement because the whole turtle is supposed to look like a rock anyways. So I am going to get painted, and I will see y'all. I will talk to y'all in a bit. Alright, I got the main colors on there. Came out looking kind of cool. It was a little difficult because I should have did the turtle first. Instead of doing the trees and working my way down. Because with if the camera will focus, every time I came in to get around, I kept hitting the trunk and also hitting the leaf, so I have to kept going back over those. But that was a little bit of fun trying to do, and it was a little challenging, and I kind of liked it because it kept my mind focused on how to get between the trunks right here. But we're going to move on to the dry brushing, and what we're going to need is a paper towel. But before we start, I'm going to tell you what colors we're going to need. So we're going to start with the turtle first. Then we're going to go up the trunk and for the leaves itself. So what we're going to need for the turtle is brown, a bluish gray color, and a light gray is your colors for the turtle to give it that rock texture. Now for the trunks of the trees, we are going to be using this color right here. Now this does not look as bright in person, it's just because I got the light above me on. And then for the leaves, we're going to use some light green, some lime tree. I think that says lime. But those are the colors we're going to do for the paint. And I'm going to be doing the same thing that I just did for the main colors. So I hope y'all enjoy. Alright, I went on and did the MAC varnish, and I did the eyes and nostrils, and all I used was just a clear, or not clear, but gloss black for the eyes and nostrils. But I am glad that this came out looking great. Now the thing is, I did do a little test. I did take this outside and put it in the rocks to see if it would blend in with the rocks if I walked away some. And turned out that the turtle itself did blend in out. So it was kind of cool to see that. Give y'all that little bit 360 look. Got the trees, leaves, and under is a little bit darker. Just like I said, I didn't paint under here because you ain't really gonna see this, but I did paint the trunks all the way up. But right here, you wouldn't have seen like the light and like the light green because of it being under here. The sun wouldn't begin right here. And I think that the under those these type leaves are dark anyways. So yeah, we just left them, and I kind of just did the tops. But they came out looking amazing. Like it on camera does not give this turtle justice as much as having it in person. The thing is, when I turn on the light, the leaves look even better on camera. And so does the turtle. Now I was debating on doing the underbelly with some orange and reds coming through the cracks right here to do like the lava look, but I figured if this is like near the water and just kind of sitting like how it was on in the comic book section, not comic book section, but on the page where you see this creature, he's walking through like out of the water, so it wouldn't have been lit up, I don't think. I'm not really sure, but I do know this is supposed to be able to breathe fire or spew lava. And I think this does not have many predators, or has no predators on the island. Go on, turn the light off. But I did pull out one of the animals that this would probably walk into, and that is the stir buffalo. Now granted, the stir buffalo and the turtle is about the same size. The buffalo might be a slightly taller because the hump on its back right here. But that doesn't mean nothing compared to this if you count the trees, because with the trees on its back, it towers most animals around this size. But the turtle itself is basically the same size of the stir buffalo, or the buffalo is slightly taller. But I'm not counting the trees with it. But like I said, since this goes into like water areas and kind of does its own thing, it probably would come upon a buffalo herd or something, or kind of walk into one while the buffalo is grazing and just following the turtle to try to get a hold of the bark, not bark, the leaves that would grow on its back, or the moss probably. And since this looks like a rock, the buffalo probably wouldn't notice anything. It would probably just start eating off of it, and then the turtle would just turn around and fight it probably. I don't know. That'd be something to see in the upcoming anime or cartoon that is coming on Netflix of Skull Island. That would be something to see a buffalo go up to a rock like this and see it eating off it, and just a massive turtle shows up, rising up to fight it. Gonna move that out the way. But yeah, I'm gonna go on and end the video here. I hope everybody enjoyed. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see everybody next time.